I was married, my husband and I at the time were in ministry at 8th Street Baptist Church in Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, come on.
So let's talk about a culture shock and
Okay.
a flip, okay?
Yes, big culture shock.
We were singing songs and hymns like this in my church.
Yeah.
They've got the organ and the piano and the bass player and the drums, and I got people shouting and screaming. And
Man, that's a crazy flip.
Totally crazy flip. Never go unpaid. Never go unpaid. Even if it's $50.
That part.
Never go unpaid, because this is your craft, this is your profession, this is something that you like. I feel so strongly about that. You have to pour into yourself and then also foster that relationship with God on you know what I mean, like
on your own,
privately.
For sure.
Yeah. But it's easy to say that. Sometimes I feel like there are people who show up. No, not I feel. I have witnessed people who show up every Sunday dressed to the nines. And they're the loudest ones usually, but then they're not doing the work at home. Or maybe their family life doesn't even reflect. There's no like fruits of that labor. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was going through, and even afterwards, I knew that wasn't the moment to share my testimony.
Yeah.
I think you know when it's time, because God also covers you when you're going through things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there will be a time where it's time to share that story, and I don't think you should be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely, 100% agree.
Listen,
Yeah.
you are first of all, you're completely different. and for me, and most people won't understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is a me and you, and it's okay, huh?
Yeah.
But the woman who God snatched you, okay. You and her are two different people.
It's just me and the Lord. Nowadays I barely pray with my eyes closed. Don't wanna miss a second of this blessing. I tightrope. If sky is the limit I fly towards, then how far should I reach? Hit the mission survival. I sing a song to carry God wherever I go. This aphorism is an affirmation for high hopes. So wine toast to the Most High.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Worship Afterisms. Listen, the season has already gotten off to such a crazy start. We've had so many awesome leaders already, and I'm super excited about that. So if you have not watched it all the way up until now, let me tell you, you already missing out. Listen, God is doing some really cool things and saying some really cool things through the leaders who have spoken already. And if you are tuning in at this particular episode right now, what I would say is pause, go back, listen to all the stuff before, and then come back to this one. Or you can start here, huh? Because this is going to be amazing as well. Trust me. And then go back and watch all the amazing things that have happened already. But I'm super excited about the guest that I have today. Listen, I met this beautiful woman on another podcast that I was helping with, Purpose Pieces. And listen, the testimony that she had is amazing. Not only is it amazing, but it is really showing the true heart of God for his people. And also, listen, offset from that, we got a chance to talk about what she does in worship. And I was like, listen, you got to be on this podcast. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to one of Kansas City's own, Audri Page.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Audri, tell us a little bit about yourself and then tell us your worship story.
Ooh, okay. A little bit about me. So, born and raised Kansas City, grew up on the OP side. I have 3 beautiful daughters. I'm currently in school. I'm in HR by day. And I've been a professional singer for the past decade. That sounds good for the past decade.
Last decade.
And so, that's like my summary, I guess you could say. As far as music goes, you know, I've pretty much done it all. And you know, being like a local singer, I guess you you see a lot of things, you experience a lot
Yeah.
of things. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to touch a little bit of everything.
There you
So
go.
yeah.
There you go.
And then you said my what?
Your worship story. Talk
My
to us
worship.
about your worship
Whoo,
story.
yeah. So I grew up in at the Kansas City Church of Christ, which is not Kojic. It's like it's a different Church of Christ. But it's more like I don't know how to describe it, but not like traditional like black cult culture,
Yeah.
So I grew up a little in a more like diverse type of, more like what you see like contemporary now is what they call it. But there wasn't really a word for it back then, I don't think.
I don't think it was.
Just like church, But yeah, so that's how I grew up. My mother actually sang in the church growing up, so I did get to see that. I have a lot of family members who have also done the same thing, so I guess that was always like in me already.
Yeah.
Now like I'm, what do you call it, like reflecting. But when I got married, I would say is kind of when it like really concreted and really got started. That was probably the starting point. So when I was married, my husband and I at the time were in ministry at 8th Street Baptist Church in Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, come on.
So let's talk about a culture shock and a flip, okay?
Yes, big culture shock.
We were singing songs and hymns like this in my church.
Yeah.
They've got the organ and the piano and the bass player and the drums, and I got people shouting and screaming. And
man, that's a crazy flip.
Totally crazy flip. But I think this is like just a testimony to like just being called into ministry, because I feel like there's always a person who's like, you know what, you should join the choir, or you should do the praise and worship team. And at first I was really intimidated because there were so many like strong singers there. At the time Isaac Cates was playing.
Freeze. I didn't even know.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen, first of all, Isaac's a GOAT.
I know. No.
GOAT.
I know.
Bro is a GOAT.
Front
if y'all don't know who Isaac Cate is, I feel like it's the second time we brought him up, which is lovely. If you don't know who he is, first of all, you need to go listen to his music. He's like a mix of gospel and classical. He's just like the perfect balance.
And I think that's what like kind of invited me in, because I was used to singing in choir as far as like in high school, and I was more of like a classically trained type of. He's like both.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he's got that choral kind of feel to his music, but at the same time there's the gospel type of aspect to it. And so when you hear I was like, oh well, maybe I can be a part of this, because you know what I mean? Because he does a little bit of a mixture of both. So I started singing in all of their choirs, because there was more than one.
Okay,
who knew that they did that?
Listen.
Not me. So they were like, why don't you join the it's like the gospel choir. Then they've got the young adult choir.
You got the youth
then they
choir.
got the
you got the children's choir that you all of a sudden become a director of.
This is all new to me. And then around that time, because this is a very traditional Baptist church. I know that they've been around for at least 125 years.
Okay.
So very rooted in tradition. I think 2 years prior to me joining, women had just been started wearing pants. Do you feel me? Yeah. So, yeah.
Listen.
So, that was really where I got my start, just being a part of the choirs. And then like a year after I joined officially, they created a praise and worship team, because that was about the time 2012 2014.
And that's when they were starting to become a thing, for sure.
Yeah, trying to kind of making that transition out of traditional choir and praise and worship teams and the whole that aesthetic, right? So kind of more of what we see now. Anyways, and so I was a part of their praise and worship team, but I was kind of hiding, because I had not stepped into my confidence as a singer yet. And so I will say Isaac helped me. He gave me a few lessons that really gave me confidence and helped me to learn like breathing.
Come on.
And like when you're warming up, those drills that I don't know if you've ever gone on there and did the drills.
I have
that he
experienced being taught by, first of all, just as a side note, with
Yes,
you,
yes, yes.
I have experienced Isaac being a teacher. I also was young in ministry. He, at one point, moved from there to Concord, and I also got to experience him
What year was
being our
that?
music director. Oh, you gonna get me lying? I just know I was young. I
Yeah,
just know
okay.
I was
I think that
young.
was prior to him coming to 8th Street.
Yes.
Because I started there, I want to say 20, we got married in 2014. So
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
it
I
would have been
started,
before that,
right,
for
yes,
sure.
yes. It was
Yeah.
right around the time that I joined was like when he had first started playing
Come
there.
on.
So that he must have been just coming from Concord.
Yeah.
Anyway, bless him, because he gave me a lot of confidence, and also I was trying to remember her last name and I can't for the life of me. Her name is LaShawn, and she's just such an anointed, gifted singer,
Yeah.
and I kept telling her, I was like, I can't sing the way that you do, like I can't project the way that you do, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like I have a baby voice,
Yeah.
I can't get it out. She was like, she looked at me, she said, yes you can. I was like, oh,
Yeah, you
you're
can.
right. So she really kind of like checked me, and then but all like in a loving way, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not loving.
Yeah.
um but it was in a loving way, and then it also gave me the confidence to be able to like lead songs, and I think that's where we all kind of get our start.
Yeah.
You're in the choir, and then they hear you, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
they're like, I think you got something there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
put you on this song, and that's kind of where that started.
Yes.
um and then from there, well, again, we were in ministry for some years, for the duration of the time that we were married. Towards the end of our marriage, I was tapped on, and I couldn't tell you how, I can't remember how, by a church, and they were needing a worship leader.
Mm.
And it was outside of 8th Street. When they first interviewed me, I was married.
Mm.
But it was really through my divorce is when I actually started singing there full time. So that was
Okay.
my first, like, just me worship leader experience. It
Mm.
was a small church in Independence. They're no longer there. They moved to like the Branson area.
Yeah.
But it was like contemporary Christian music. And it was just me, and I was singing the tracks.
Uh,
Yes. Oh, it was
listen,
difficult.
tracks can be your best friend or your enemy. I love. First of all, I mean, churches, what they've done. I've been a part of like having no tracks at all, and it's all band and
Yes.
vocals, and then having just stems in your ears. That's having a count off. That's helping, and
Yes.
then but just tracks.
There's no deviation. You have to understand the timing. It stretched me for sure as a singer and as a vocalist, because
Yeah.
I really had to rehearse and understand the timing and count and things like
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of things that go into singing a song and leading worship, because they're depending on you to quite literally lead the song,
Yeah.
so that they can also be led to worship. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So anyway, I did that for a year, but that was during the time where, and you learned this when I was doing the podcast. That was through my divorce, and when I first met my ex, who was my abusive ex partner. And so there were a lot of things going on at that time. Divorce, which is hard in itself. But then COVID was also happening during that time. And then when I got with my my partner that just took me through took me through there. But he it was just hard to be in a space to lead people to worship and to
Yeah.
be in ministry when I myself was kind of stepping away from God. And I talked
Yeah.
about that when I felt like there was a point in my divorce where I felt really like angry at God, where
Yeah.
I just was like, I really prayed for my marriage, and I really prayed that, he would just like wake up and be like, come on, like,
Yeah.
we're having issues. We need to work this together.
Yeah.
We need to do something together. We need to pray. We're in ministry, dang it. Like, we should know what to do, and we should have people to lean on. And
Yeah.
it was just like I was just doing it by myself
By
at a
yourself.
point. And
Yeah.
and so I was really angry that I felt like God didn't hear my prayers
Yeah.
and didn't hear my cries.
Yeah.
And he just, I felt abandoned. Now I know that was not the case.
And I want to pause there just for a second, because
Sure.
I think it's really important that our community hears. I think a part of the reason that I started the podcast is oftentimes we don't get to see an inside view of what worship leaders are enduring
Yes.
while they're also on the platform. So we show up on a Sunday, we lead you in worship, and sometimes it seems like all the people on the platform are the nearest to Jesus's feet, right? And not to say that we aren't.
Right.
Not to say that we
But-
aren't, but we're also enduring our own
Struggles.
issues and
Yes.
struggles, while also trying to lead you in the same places in which you've battled, right?
Yes.
That you're battling, right? Before you came, I also battled the same war right before I
Absolutely.
came. And I think it's important for them to see
understand
that we are human, that we
Yes.
have our things. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was a huge struggle for me because I don't take worship lightly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of us do, honestly, because it's such a responsibility. I
Yeah.
feel like, I never want to go into it unprepared. I never want to ever feel like, what's the opposite of humble?
Arrogant.
Arrogant. Yeah, I never want to get up there and
Prideful.
be arrogant or come off as
Yeah.
whatever. I want to step on that stage and be humble and be before God, but also the people that I'm helping to lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just come from a pure place. But when you're struggling with your relationship with God and you're trying to lead worship at the same time, like, I'm angry at you, but I'm worshiping you, and it's hard.
Yeah.
This is not an
It's
easy
real hard.
thing. Yeah. And so that was a part of when I talked about on the podcast of me saying, you know what, God, like, I kind of walked away from my relationship with him. And that was a part of it, was me resigning from worshiping at their church. There were also some other things that I think they knew there was something going on with me. They just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And instead of coming from a place of like, hey, I you seem off. Like, is there something I can do to help you? It was more like, it wasn't like that. I'll just say it like that.
Yeah,
It kind of came from a mean
I
place.
feel that, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, it hurt. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you guys are not coming at me with a Christian love. Yeah, we've all been there for sure. I feel
because
like
I think the hard part is a lot of times that's happening because they really I talk about this. The relationship is lacking.
yes.
So many leaders, and this is not all leaders,
Mhm.
they call you in, they want you to do the thing, right? But they forget that for me to do the thing well, also,
Mhm.
that I have to be pastored. I need relationship. I need people who actually are like, something's off. Let's chat. Let's go to
Mhm.
coffee real quick. Are you
Hello.
good?
Yeah.
You all right?
That is the part that was missing.
Yeah.
The relation. And I feel like it was it almost felt transactional at sometimes.
Mm,
And I think that can happen when this is not your home church.
yeah.
At 8th Street, that was my home church. That's
Yeah.
where my children went. That's where we were in ministry and we had friends
Yeah.
and relationships. There, it was me being hired on to do a job.
Yeah.
And so that can get tricky
Yeah.
because this is still about God, right?
Yeah.
We're still worshiping. This is what we're doing, right? And so there needs to be, it's hard to balance, our faith and business.
Yeah.
It's so tricky. It
It's
gets
really
icky.
tricky.
And I always empathize with people who are like, their bread and butter is
Yeah.
from, Christian music or whatever, or
Yeah.
pastoring, because some people will look at you and be like, well, why do you need to be paid? Or why do you should just do this out of the kindness of your heart. And it's like, yeah, the kindness of my heart doesn't always get my bills paid. Like, I do need to get compensated because not only am I doing this job.
Yeah.
I prepare. I'm bringing 10 years worth of experience
Yeah.
with me. You're not getting somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, who's stumbling. My aunt used to always tell me, like, nobody gets God doesn't get the glory out of, like, unpreparedness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we need to be prepared. This is our job. This is what he called us to do. And so, and
Facts.
my aunt, and I she's also a minister as well, and she did full-time ministry for many, many years.
Yeah.
And so I always watched her you know, do that. And so anyway, but those are the kind of conversations that kind of stuck with me. And so anyways, I'm rambling.
No, you're
But
good. Because I honestly feel like the payment thing is a thing. Like, in that business and faith that business and
Yeah.
faith thing is so hard. I had my own personal challenges with it that God I had to sit with God because realistically in this season, God has been like, I want you to date churches for a while. And I didn't really understand what that meant until like I got into this season and I've started this, and God has really just been having me watch, right? Have a watchful eye. But in that, like, I feel like at my home church, I'm like, man, God, I can do this thing for free, and this is my reasonable service. This is my surrender. This is my offering back to you for the local house, and which is feeding me, right? And but I didn't have that,
Yeah.
right? So I started doing music and singing other places, and I started kind of yielding to my boundary of like, oh, I need to be paid here, because I was like, all right, Lord, but I still need to make my reasonable offering and service and all the things. And it wasn't until recently that I was faced with something that the Lord had to make me clear up exactly what that meant, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like now I have this answer of like, the balance of faith and business is this, like, where my home church is and where I am being poured into, fed into, have community. Sure, there are things that I can give service to. Now, in true essence, your friends are going to pay you your value, right?
Yeah.
However, if this is not, if it's a small place, a small church, but this is a place that is covering me, quite literally.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm yielding to being like, all right, I'll do this for free. But if this is a place in which I'm going to do business that you hired me, you got to pay me.
I would even challenge you to say because you're a professional. You're a professional.
Yeah.
Never go unpaid. Never go unpaid. Even if it's $50.
That part.
Never go unpaid, because this is your craft. This is your profession. This is something that you like. I feel so strongly about that. When I was at H Street, I was yet to be a professional. I had never taken a gig before. I was just getting my toes wet. You know what I mean? By the time I had been hired by that church, I had been in the game for about 5 years.
Yeah.
On the weddings and the private gigs, those type of things. So by that time, I could say I have been paid for my trade. I do take this seriously. This is my profession, and I do deserve payment. You know, and so I want to challenge that, because it doesn't matter the size of the church.
Come on.
I don't. Yeah, we shouldn't care about that part, because this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's an insult to not pay. I pay my friends when they feature on my songs. I pay people, my photographers. I pay the sound engineers. I pay anybody that I work with, you know, unless they say, I'm doing this for you because you my homegirl and I love you, and it's just, you know what I'm saying? But I'm always pay you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it should be the same way in the church. That's not fair. That's not right. We don't do people like that. Okay.
Well, come on, Audrey said it, y'all. She gonna make social media mad. She gonna make somebody mad.
Don't do your people like that. Come on now, because them be the same ones who don't want to pay are the same ones who are complaining when they get somebody who don't know the words, forget the words, stumbling, off key singing, unpreparedness, unprofessionalism, late. You know, I'm not showing up properly dressed. These are things that people, they take for granted.
That's facts. That's facts.
Real talk.
That's real talk.
Okay.
But what I want to, and I want to pivot because that part is gonna make some people frustrated. I'm just letting you know.
I'm just saying.
However, but I mean, I agree. I mean, we've had this conversation a lot throughout this season about payment in church, and I feel like maybe God is trying to say something. I think it is necessary that you pay people for what you're asking them for.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is a business side, but we can't keep abusing people with do this for the Lord. Yes, I am doing it for the Lord, but He also takes care of me.
Exactly.
There's that.
Hello.
But let's pivot a little bit because while we were having conversation while you were on the other podcast, Purpose Pieces, we got a chance to talk a little bit about a program and worship leaders in which you are a part of now. Yeah. I want you to talk a little bit about that, but as you are talking a little bit about that and shouting them out, because I believe they're worthy of that, I also want you to answer a question for me. You over the years have gotten a chance through that program to lead at quite a few churches now, right? Yeah. And the question that I have for you is, like, through the contracted worship leading work, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned with all of those ministries combined that you've taken away for other leaders who may be like, man, that's kind of cool. Yeah. But how do, like,
okay.
How?
Yeah. Oh, how? Word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth. So, I how did I get linked up with the Artist Community Project?
Come on.
So Brent, his last name just left me. Jesus. So, I was brought into ACP through Patrick Lentz Entertainment, a friend of mine who does that, and that's another corporate type of band that I'm a part of. He was also linked up with ACP, and they were needing female vocalists. Okay. And so he reached out to me, said, hey, you should try doing this, da-da-da-da. And so I got linked up with them, and I don't say this in a prideful way, but I've never auditioned for any of the gigs that I've ever received.
That's just proof that your talent makes room for you.
Honestly, I feel like that's a blessing, because I've heard people say, like, it's hard to get in and it's this and that. But honestly, it's always been through my network. Yeah. Your network is your net worth. And so
say it again.
Your network is your net worth. The people that you know will open doors for you and speak life into you and about you when you're not in those rooms. Do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Okay.
But
so good.
That has been my entire story.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened with ACP. When I left the church I told you about, Independence, the smaller one, I hadn't been singing, doing worship music for some time. I want to say it was about a year and a half-ish or something. And so when they needed it, I said, you know what, this is something I can commit to. I can accept when I want to, and if I don't feel up to it, I don't have to. It kind of gave me a choice rather than a commitment of doing something every Sunday, because that was heavy. Yeah. And so that's kind of what got me back into it. But I've been with them since 2021.
Come
on. So almost 5 years.
Come on.
And it's been a wonderful experience, because like you said, I've sung in different churches, and it's puts money in my pocket. But it also allows me to do what I love to do, which is worship, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, there's actually another group, and I can't remember the name. I will send it to you.
Please.
Because someone sent it to me, and I was like, I can't do another. There's nothing. I can't do nothing else. It's just too much.
I got no time,
please. I got time, please. But I will, because there's another group that has also popped up in Kansas City. But anyway, yeah. So that's that. They've sent me. I've gone to Lawrence. I've been Lee Summit, Independence. Everywhere. And right now I'm singing at a church, Contagious Life Church. They're smaller congregation, but they've resonated with me.
Come on.
They really love Jesus. Yeah. They're always so appreciative of the musicians that walk through the door. Like it's never been a weird exchange or anything like that. So I've been with them for about 4 or 5 months now, almost
Okay.
6 months. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and it's through ACP that I sing with them.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, tell me what the biggest like you've gotten a chance to be amongst all of these congregations. What is the biggest revelation or takeaway God has given you while being in that work about the body, about what his desires are for the people of God? Like, what is the biggest takeaway getting to do that work?
The biggest takeaway.
Or is it something you're living out right now?
I just think that I didn't realize how many smaller churches there are. And what has stuck out to me about the churches that I've sung with, they have people who are like very devoted, like their core group of people. I think it's resonated with me because I've always wanted to be that person.
Yeah.
I haven't had the stability in my life to be able to do it, but being like a pillar in their community.
Yeah.
And churches need that.
Yeah.
Like truly, like they need people who are going to show up every Sunday, who are going to tithe, who are going to, you can lean on and that
Yeah.
type of thing. And I feel like the churches that I've been at, they've always had that, like Contagious. They have a really strong core group of people who show up every Sunday.
Come on.
They come early. They stay and help them clean up and that type of thing. And to me, that makes my job more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because I'm going into a place of what feels like love.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just something that I appreciate, honestly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's important because I think there's another piece outside of like just doing this as a gig that you're exposing, because it's more than just a gig. I think what pastors appreciate are those who are pillars, right?
Yes.
Those who are going to show up early without me having to beg you, right? Those who are going to. There's so many things that go into ministry every single week, and realistically there is no way your pastor can get it done by themselves.
Absolutely. And actually, I would even go as far to say like that is it's a form of ministry. Like you may not be on the stage singing and holding a mic, but opening the doors for people when they come, or even just sitting in, like being a consistent member who shows up and you're there and you're trying and you're praying and you're welcoming people in, like that's a ministry in itself, and it's important because that's what makes the church culture. You know what I mean? I think I struggle in churches that are larger sometimes because
why is that?
Because sometimes you don't get that. Like there's a church that I was trying to join, but I don't think I'll be able to. I won't name it. I submitted to be a part of their discipleship program because I wanted to join. I've been on a waiting list. Child, a waiting list? Now I get it. You need somebody to do it, but this is a church with 3 services, and I'm on a waiting list for discipleship.
I mean, I can't judge because I don't know what that's about. But at the same
judging,
time, I'm like, oh, wait
a minute. Yeah.
It's giving, you don't want me here.
Yeah. And that's what it was.
It's giving, there's no room. It's giving, I need God right now, and you're making me wait on His presence.
What if I did, like, what if I was one of the, we're all in need of God, right? But what if I was in a really, like, I desperately just need.
I need Him.
I need this, right?
And I need community.
And
I've
been on a waiting list for 2 months. So anyway, I there's, you appreciate different things in on each spectrum of things, but I think those small churches who have those core folks who really are able to like love on each other, and there's something special about that to me. And a lot of the churches who hire ACP are smaller like that, and it's probably because they don't have somebody who's more exactly so in their congregation, so they have to hire out. But yes, that's important. So like join a church and show up and be a part of that culture and really like invest in it because it's important.
What's up, guys? This is your host, Chris August. Hey, I want to take the time out to stop and say thank you so much for watching this week's episode. You, our viewers, are such a support and help to our community. Also, if you haven't taken the next step and you've just been dating our community, go ahead and commit and hit that subscribe button. I promise you, you don't want to miss any episode this season. We have some huge things planned for you. Also, if you found that anything in this episode has impacted you, go ahead and share it with a friend. That's the way that we grow, and I promise you, your friends also can grow from this community as well. Also, if you're looking for ways to help out our community, we have 3 ways that you can donate this year. 1, our Share a Cup of Love donation. All of our guests get a special gift from the podcast community when they show up on our platform. If you want to get involved in helping out on that and pass the love on, go ahead and donate there. Also, you can check out our merch shop where you can find all of our merch products and our official logo products, as well as you can check out our Amazon wish list that will help this community. Now let's get back into this episode. Talk to you later.
That's absolutely important.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me, so as we all know, as worship leaders, the weight that we carry is heavy, and what we pour out on Sunday mornings is a lot. It's a lot more than I think most people think. It's a lot more than just singing.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm singing, but I'm pouring out so much, but I'm also making myself vulnerable enough to receive from the Lord, but also give from the Lord.
Yeah.
How do you leave from that atmosphere and refresh?
And refresh.
How do you?
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
The refresh is the hard part.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been trying to join a church that I could maybe, and no shade to Contagious, because I really do love them. I feel like I'm not able to relate
Yeah.
as much to the preaching.
Mhm.
And so I've been looking for somewhere where I can and
Mhm.
where I feel like I can really be kind of poured into and like you said, refreshed every Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, you're good. Like that was the question. That's the
So,
question.
but
How do
what
you
I
do it? What are you
what do
doing?
I do?
Yeah.
So, I will watch sermons during the week. That's
Yeah.
my thing.
Come on.
Like, so when I am at my desk and I'm listening to stuff instead of like listening to music, I'm listening to sermons.
Yeah.
I read daily. Not only just journaling, but like, I write my prayers.
Yeah.
So that's something that I do. Like you have to pour into yourself
Come on.
and then also foster that relationship with God on,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
On your own, yeah,
privately.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But it's easy to say that. Sometimes I feel like there are people who show up. No, not I feel. I have witnessed. People who people who show up every Sunday dressed to the nines.
Mhm.
And they're the loudest ones usually, but then they're not doing the work at home.
Mm.
Or maybe their family life doesn't even reflect. There's no like fruits of that labor.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for me, I feel like I've seen that, and I try to I'm always reflecting inward, right? But I'm trying to do the work myself so that when I get on the stage, what I'm ministering to you, you're not feeling the heaviness
Yeah.
of my obstacles and my
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
What you're feeling is this vertical relationship that I have. I
Yeah,
feel like you
that
can
surrender.
feel that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like you can feel that. I feel like there's a difference when somebody steps on stage, they grab the mic, and it's all about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You could definitely feel it.
Because that shows me, oh, you're not doing the work.
Huh?
You're not doing the work.
And I'm so glad you said that, because I think there are worship leaders that don't understand that we can see right through you.
We can feel it.
We can feel what you are exuding off of you.
Like literally off of you.
Huh?
Yes. But I've really tried. Like I've put effort into not being that.
Yeah,
That's actually
yeah.
a fear of mine.
Yeah.
It's to come into a place and just sing
Yeah.
and be like, and did that. Like not in the house of God. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe at a wedding or something, but
Yeah.
I'm just not you know what I'm saying? So I do. I read.
Can we
I'm
pause
praying.
real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you make sure that camera's still going? I just got a phone call.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine. I'm gonna turn. I didn't realize that. I don't know how to turn the sound.
It's still going.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Sorry to pause.
It's okay. But remind me where we left off.
Yes, we were talking about how we can feel
Oh,
leaders and what they exude off of them on a Sunday morning. So we can quite literally see and feel your lack of time spent with the Lord.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So I try to not be that person. And I try to do the work behind closed doors. But also I have been feeling like I really need to find a church. Like I've been feeling like that for a while.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and then I also feel like a responsibility to keep worship. So it's hard. But I sat back for a while. It was like maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
Where I was going to Life Church.
Yeah.
But I was sitting in the back.
Yeah.
Because that's where I needed to be in that moment. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, though, because what you're saying is to other worship leaders, because I've been here also, which is so funny.
Yeah.
Is that you need to be able to, in your time spent with the Lord, it's not just enough to spend time with God, but you have to be able to discern that his voice is saying, listen, it's time for you to take a break, right?
Yep.
So that you aren't impacting people with whatever you have going on. And if the season is the Lord saying you need to sit down, despite what the money is, I'm gonna tell y'all that now, because that was my butt whooping from the Lord. God told me to sit down, and I was like,
but I gotta,
but I'm broke.
Yeah, I gotta get my bills paid.
And it turned into a disaster.
Yeah.
And I think we have to yield to the leading of the Holy Spirit in seasons where he says, no, you need to go somewhere, sit in the back and be refreshed.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for a while.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it.
Come on.
That's how we do. You just gotta listen. You have to be in tune, because he will tell you when you need to sit down.
Yes,
and then I'll tell you when it's time to get back up.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, let's talk about something. You've been in all these churches. Give us a funny moment or two that you've experienced while leading.
Moment.
Yeah.
A funny moment I've experienced while leading. Okay. More embarrassing than anything.
Okay, come on.
When I was at 8th Street, I was young, right?
Yeah.
So there are certain Sundays where they will wear all white. I think it's first Sunday maybe, or I can't remember which one it was. Anyway, whatever. And so I wore all white. It was like a jumpsuit, but you could see through. But I didn't.
Yo.
And I was up worshiping in this white pants, but you could see my pink underwear. And of course, the mothers were
aggressively probably staring at you.
Oh my gosh. But they couldn't say, like, they couldn't get me down.
Yeah,
I'm already up there.
Yeah.
So they had to pull me aside. And I was so embarrassed. I was mad at my husband at the time, really, because I was like, why didn't you tell me it was see-through? You let me walk up there and see through. And this is the church, like I said. They just started letting us wear pants.
Yeah.
Now I'm wearing pants and it's see-through. They're going to be like, and that's why we don't let women wear pants. That's why we don't let y'all wear pants.
We can see everything. You're beginning and end.
Facts.
That is so funny.
No, for real.
But I think it leads to a really important reminder for teams. Like, I know with me leading teams, I always tell all of my team members, make sure you do a mirror check. Even if you think you're good, go stand in front of the brightest light and make sure that you're doing a mirror check before you head out. Sometimes you can't in between all the hustle and bustle, and I'm sure you could, like, you got family and you're married. Sometimes you just kind of,
you trying to get the kids in the car and you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm doing my makeup in the...
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so embarrassed, honestly, truly.
Oh, that is funny.
It's okay.
Well, can we pivot a little bit?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So in season 2, we've started this really cool game. I think it's really cool, called Good Save.
Okay.
The whole concept is around making sure, so worship leaders always forget their lyrics. Like that confidence monitor that we use on a Sunday it's necessary, but it's also crippling, right?
It can be.
Huh?
Yeah.
And we often, and I don't care what it is. It could be a song that I know all the lyrics to that I've seen 1,000 times. And if that lyric monitor goes off, I'm like, what's the lyrics to this song?
Yeah. For real.
So the game is created to redeem that.
Okay.
So will you do a little singing with me?
Okay.
Cool. Here's the rules.
Okay.
I'm going to sing a piece of the song.
Okay.
Wherever I stop,
Uh-huh.
you have 5 seconds from where I stop to pick up. You can either choose the chorus
It's gonna be so
or
bad.
the next verse.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
You ready?
No.
She
Go ahead.
said, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Cool. Here we go. All my words fall short. I've got nothing new. How could I express all my gratitude?
That was beautiful. Gosh, I don't remember.
Did it hit?
Yes.
So I throw up my hands and
And praise
praise.
you again and again.
Yeah, come on.
Cause all of my praises are hallelujah. I like
Hallelujah.
that. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. And I know it's not much, but it's something fit for a king. Oh, Lord! Oh, gosh! No, you got me.
Y'all, she led her congregation astray today.
That's the moment where you let them sing.
Yeah,
Sing
you're
it,
like,
church.
yeah, sing it out, church.
Let them hear you.
Or you let the musicians have a prophetic move. Take it away. Hey. You ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm. This got to be the last one because I'm going to mess up every single one. I'm telling you.
Okay. All right, cool.
My favorite.
The hour is dark and it's hard to see what you are doing here in the ruins and where this will lead. Oh, but I know that down through the years, I look on this moment and see your hand on it and know you were here.
Can I phone a friend?
Phone a friend. I got you. You want to phone a friend?
Yeah, phone a friend.
Here we go.
Okay. Where we at?
We're right here.
Wait, where?
And I'll testify of the...
That one's
It's all good.
It's not ringing a bell.
It's
It's not
all
ringing a
good.
bell.
Okay, well, do me a favor.
Okay.
Do me a favor. I want you to tell me what your favorite worship song is now.
Right now, we're like, yeah. Okay.
Or period.
Okay.
But I want you to sing it.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. I can't remember how this one starts, but I trust in God,
Mm-hmm.
my Savior, the one
Come on.
who will never fail. He will never fail. I trust in God. Yes.
Come on.
That's my favorite. And
That's
then,
such a good one.
but the part that always gets me is, I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I sought the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. That's why I trust Him. That's why I trust Him.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That always gets me.
Tell me why. What? Tell me what resonates with you in that.
Because when I was in need,
Yeah.
when I was going through the struggle of getting out of that abusive relationship that I told you about, and I told you I had made the decision to walk away from God because I felt like you didn't hear me. What's the point?
Yeah.
But then I was in such a dark place that I had nowhere else to turn but God.
Yeah.
And so when I sought Him, and I literally had to cry out,
Yeah.
like, God, I need you. I need you. And whatever you tell me to do, I'll do. I just had to trust. I had no other option but to trust Him. So when I sought Him and He answered, woo! Hallelujah!
Listen.
He heard and He answered?
Come on.
Oh my God.
It's different. When it feels like you've gone astray or you've intentionally walked away from God, but then you seek Him and He has no reason to answer you at all.
Yeah.
but he answers anyhow. Listen.
That'll make you shout right there.
Listen. And
Come
she
on.
did,
Come
huh?
on, okay.
And she
Listen.
did. Listen, while we were on the podcast, there is a reveal, and I think there may be people who want to look further into your story.
Absolutely.
You have a blog, don't you?
I do have a blog. I have a blog at audripage.com/blog.
Come on.
I'm still writing. I haven't ended the series yet, but it will be a 10-part series. We're at part 7 right now.
Come on.
Of telling the story of what I went through and how that brought me back to back to God, honestly.
Yeah.
Walked away but it made my relationship stronger. I had to learn to trust him.
Yeah.
I had to learn to lean on him. You know what I mean? And so that's what that blog is about.
Come on.
So
I love that.
yes, please go read the blog.
Yeah.
The person is local, so I use a different name. Nobody's
Absolutely.
name is the same in the blog, but just to tell my story, and I think it has already helped people. I've had folks reach out to me and personally tell me their story and personally tell me how sharing mine just made them feel not alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's been a blessing. So go check it out.
Yeah, y'all. Definitely from this community, Worship Afterisms community, please go support Audri Page and her blog. I promise you that what you are going to read is not only going to impact you, but it's going to remind you also that you are not the only one dealing with things and also being called by God.
Yes.
Right? Because just because you call doesn't make you exempt from life.
Absolutely.
And life happens.
Absolutely. And every day, like pastors are going through things that we don't see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Worship leaders, we all of us are going through things. And so just to give grace to people, you know what I mean? You may look at them like, for instance, when we first met. When we first met.
We didn't want to read that one. I wasn't sure.
So when we first met,
yeah.
And that was around that time.
Yeah.
And I even would go as far to say I looked different.
You did look different.
And I feel like I look different now, and it's because I am different.
Listen, and this is a real testament because I think some people will get a chance to look at your social media and they will see the evidence of who you used to be, right? Which is okay. And first of all, I have to say this to the people of God. If there's an artist who has old things in which do not resonate with you that look like a life of sin and they don't take it off their social media, it is not your job to tell them to remove it. Because first of all, what it does is it shows a testimony.
Yeah, it's a story.
It's a testimony.
Yeah.
We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Absolutely. Right? And it's not always good to erase the evidence.
You shouldn't. You know what I mean? I feel like there was when I was going through, and even afterwards, I knew that wasn't the moment to share my testimony.
Yeah.
I think you know when it's time, because God also covers you when you're going through things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there will be a time where it's time to share that story, and I don't think you should be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely, 100% agree.
Listen, you are first of all, you're completely different. And for me, and most people won't understand what we're talking about. But this is a me and you, and it's okay, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? But the woman who God snatched you, I'm okay. You and her are two different people. And the woman that God rescued that was buried under her to show up now are two different people. But it's also a testament of God's grace and his favor and his mercy and his promises, because you are called.
Yeah.
And just because you had mistakes
Yeah.
or you had trials or things and moments and anger towards the Lord does not exempt you from being loved by Him.
Yes.
It does not exempt you from being used by Him.
Absolutely.
And it does not exempt you from being redeemed by the
Absolutely.
Lord.
Absolutely.
And who you are showing up today is living proof
Of that.
of that.
Yes. Well, thank you.
And that's beautiful.
Thank you. I
That's
appreciate
so
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's your worship afterism?
uh, I don't know. Help me. What do you mean by afterism?
Yeah.
Define it. Define it, because I.
No, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good. So a worship afterism is just a combination of words. Afterism is really that thing that you think about. So you know how like when you're in an argument, the best way I can explain it is when you're in an argument. When you leave the argument, there's always that thought after that was like, dang, I should have
Should've
said
said
that,
Yeah.
and I would have killed him with it, or right?
Yeah.
Or I should have did that, or I should have responded that way, but because I responded that way, I don't really have a chance to go back to respond. It's always the lessons that we learn after we do the thing. So you combine that with worship. What is the lessons that you had to learn only after you did it in worship that you wish you could have done better? That could be a life hack to our community.
Ooh, that's heavy. I think what I've learned is that being in ministry does not exempt you from having to do the work, and it's not like almost like what we were just talking about. Like I thought when I was married, like I'm doing the ministry, I'm singing, I'm up here, I'm doing all the things, and like why did I go through a divorce? Like
Yeah.
what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
why did this happen to me? But I'm that me being in ministry doesn't make me perfect.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna make my my walk perfect.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like you're a pastor, you're exempt from obstacles, or you're a worship leader, you're exempt from this, you don't have to go through this, you know what I mean? Like we still have to. And so it's even more important for us as worship leaders to do that work, to stay rooted in the word, and continue to seek Him so that you can lead and do what you've been called to do.
Yeah.
That's what I got from it.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's a perfect
But I had to
worship
learn it.
afterism.
I had to learn it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what is next for you.
What is next? What is next? I'm still making music. I made a conscious decision to make music about love. But like love. Like I want all of my music to just be like about that, because I feel like we've lost the art of loving our friends and loving our neighbors, and just loving each other, you know what I mean? When I first came out as an artist, well, we ain't gonna talk about that. But it was a little risque. And I want to make music that my children can sing along to as well. Because being a mother, like, there's not a lot of that either.
Yeah.
And so I still write, I'm still recording, and then also just continue to do what I'm doing as far as like worshiping and being a part of the Kansas City community, like the music community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just gonna continue doing that.
Come on. Love that. Where can our community follow you?
Ooh, everywhere, child. YouTube, it's Audri Page. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify.
Come on.
Just, anywhere you spend your time, you can find Audri Page there.
Come on.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
First of all, you are incredible, and I've enjoyed this conversation today.
Thank you.
You've dropped so much wisdom, and your story, I know, is going to impact some young lady or some man, or I mean even older woman or older man that's watching our podcast, and help them realize that you're not alone. I mean, if you're enduring some things, it's not irredeemable. God can show up for you, and I'm so grateful you came through to share with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hey y'all, so I just want to thank each and every one of you for joining us again on this episode of Worship Afterisms. Got a couple reminders for you. If you are still just eavesdropping on our community, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Join our community, jump in. There's nothing but love here. We have nothing but lessons in some of the best leaders in our city and in other cities that are coming here to speak to you and give you real life stories so that you don't feel alone, so that you understand that you being human is okay while also being called by God. So hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss anything. Also, if there are any questions and you're already a viewer that you would like to ask our leaders, make sure you throw those down in our comments. Those will get to me, straight to me, actually, and we'll start adding those into the rotation. Also, one last thing. If this episode has impacted you at all, I'm certain that this episode will also help someone else. So don't just subscribe, but like and share this episode with a friend so that we can just continue growing and continue helping people. But until next time, I love you so, so, so very much. And I want to remind each and every one of you to use your aphorisms to help one person at a time. Peace.
Hey everybody, it's Audri Page, and I just got done doing an amazing session with Chris and WA. So I wanted to let you guys know to please go like and share and subscribe to the channel. You have to keep up with what he's got going because it is amazing. If you want to follow me on any social media platforms, follow me at Audri Page, at AUDRIPAGE.